Hello and welcome back all. This is David, aka Faramir4731. Let's dive back into a Faramir Rangers rant. And first topic is going to be on Darthmod. So, this is the mod that most people playing Empire in single player seem to prefer. This is a very popular mod. It's probably one of the most popular of the mods. I wouldn't say that it's what most Empire Total War players prefer to play, but a vast portion of them do. So, what are my thoughts on Darthmod? My thoughts, right off the top of my mind, would be I like the customization that you can put towards the game. You can do a lot of things, like if you don't want grenades, you can take out grenades, for example. You can tweak how many years per turn. So there's a great amount of detail you can have towards what you can put into the game. That's not even to mention the fact that you can play as the minor nations, like I am here, playing as Cortland. So that aspect is kind of interesting. You can play as a pirate, you can play as any faction, basically. So again, these are just some of the things that are just off the top of my mind as I'm rolling through this. Now, I can tell you that here's some of the things that I don't like about it. The game gets very drawn out. The battles take ages compared to vanilla. You end up getting like gajillions of stacks of armies to fight. Just becomes like a bogged down fight. Very grindy, if you will. And I think for some, that's what they like about it. For me, I'm older. I think if you're younger, maybe that's a very appealing aspect because you might have the time to be able to spend on it. But for some of us older guys like me, I'm 46 now, so I'm getting to be grandpa age. So, that definitely, I don't have the time to spend on it. And I mean, this is coming from somebody I've got, 5,000 hours in the game? Okay, I just had to check. So I got 5,074 hours in the game as of this recording. Now, I have played my share of Darthmod in the past, maybe, I don't even remember when it was, but I did play it for off and on for a whole year. But that was quite a while. I mean, it seems like it was 2 years or more ago. So, memory's kind of fading on it, but I kind of tuned it back up and was playing it a little bit here and there. And I will say I still prefer vanilla. I mean, after playing it for that period of time, when I first started playing it, I was like, oh wow, I loved it at first. When you first start playing it, it is really refreshing. I really enjoyed it. It's just, I think that grindiness to the game just, and Empire and Vanilla gets that way to an extent in the early stages of the game, not so much in the late stages as you kind of get things secured. But again, it just gets so bogged down. It seems like you can never finish anything. It's just, even though you're progressing, it just takes so long to do. Again, this is based on my experience, and I don't like the naval battles whatsoever compared to vanilla. I like, I just prefer vanilla style naval battles better because, again, naval battles in vanilla take a long time. I mean, I've played ones in Darthmod that seem to have taken ages. And I think a lot of that is just because your fleets become so enormous and you're fighting so many other ships. It just becomes an absolute, like you're fighting a World War II naval battle with all the ships. Now, not to be too negative on Darthmod, now I'm going to talk about something I really do enjoy about Darthmod. I think this is the campaigns that I enjoyed the most was playing as the natives because you can really dive deep into those factions and you can really explore some new possibilities with them. So whenever I get that urge to play natives, the Warpath campaign on vanilla is just tremendously lacking in so many levels, and I think Darthmod really makes up a great difference there for the natives. So if you're a native fan, Darthmod is where it's at, in my opinion. It's 10 times better than what you're going to get on the Warpath campaign to be able to play single player with the natives. So, anyways, this is just my take on it. What I'd like to know from you is, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer vanilla for campaigns, or do you prefer Darthmod? And if you prefer Darthmod, what is it that you like about it that makes it better than vanilla? And what stands out about it to you? Let's hear about it in the comments below. Alright, so let's dive into the next topic, which is going to be in multiplayer. We're going to talk about overranging your artillery. Now, this is a dirty, dirty topic, and actually, it's one that once you learn how to do it, I guess, you know, heck, I will admit I definitely have used overranging art on players, but definitely I learned my lesson as far as why you shouldn't do it. I think when I was playing against a bunch of newer players, I used it. Not really that cool. Shouldn't do this. And you can see here how using a howitzer you can push behind, basically click beyond the red line, and your artillery will fly beyond that point. And you can see from that explosion, it racked up quite a bit of kills, and you can see how far beyond the red line they can fly, and they do fly beyond that part. Now, quicklime, that's about the extent you'll really get quicklime beyond the line. It doesn't really go that far. And with your shrapnel shot from your 6-pounders and your field art, you can really do some massive overranging where you could I'm sure see some of those shots where they're going well beyond the red line with the shrapnel shot in these videos. But that brings me to topic. If that's the case, what is acceptable in Empire Total War when you're trying to use your artillery to be fair to the other players? How should you determine that? Well, I've got an easy solution. You can see here from these pictures that if a unit is on the red line or inside of the red line, you can target that unit. If that unit is just beyond that red line, you should not even try to target that unit. Like, in other words, clicking on the spot inside the red line right in front of that unit, because you're clearly trying to overreach your art when you do that. That is the whole thing of overrange. So if the unit is on the other side of that red line, don't even try to shoot at or near it. Now, if there's another unit in front of the red line that unit's at, sure, go for it. You can try and shoot that unit, but don't try to shoot the units beyond the red line. You're obviously trying to overreach, so don't do it. It's not cool. Then let's get into shrapnel shot. Now, shrapnel shot, targeting inside the red line, it's still going to carry beyond the red line. That everyone knows. It's going to go beyond. I mean, you can't stop it from going further. That's impossible. But what is possible is to only target units within the red line. If you see a unit beyond the red line and you're clicking on an empty spot inside the red line because you know that there's a unit, if you're lining it up so that that will carry on and possibly hit that person's art further beyond, that's overreaching your art. You're overranging. You should not do that. That's not cool. You're obviously trying to hit their art or the unit that you particularly want to hit. That's outside the range. So don't try to do it. If you're targeting a unit inside, anything that hits beyond the red line is residual damage, just like if you're shooting a line fight and some of the bullets from your line will carry on and you can hit units behind. I bet you don't even realize that most of the time, but they do. And like if you have a cav unit behind, any of those missed shots will carry on and hit beyond their range. So again, if it's within the red line, target it. If it's beyond the red line, don't obviously try to target that unit. We will know if you're doing it and it's not cool. So don't do it. So same thing applies to solid shot. Solid shot is a great way to use that to hit and knock out artillery or cav. So if you're targeting in the empty field, not targeting a particular unit, because you know that that solid shot will carry beyond the red line in an attempt to hit somebody's artillery or cav, then you're not obviously playing within the rules that are established in the rules that we play as being veteran Empire Total War multiplayer competitors, if that makes sense. Now, if you're someone trying to use canister shot and overrange canister shot, and I've seen it happen, just FYI, it doesn't kill anything beyond the red line. Like, it kills nothing. So the fact that you're trying to use canister shot beyond the red line, you're wasting your shots. Wait till they're within the red line, and then you can actually kill something. Just FYI. Okay, so I finished my rant on overranging artillery. So let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think is fair game when you are in the matches we play, which most of the people that are subscribed to my channel, you play multiplayer. I mean, there's a majority of you are anyways, multiplayer guys. And so what are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments below. What is fair game? Should it be the unit within the red line? If it's beyond the red line, don't target at the spot in front because you're obviously trying to overreach. What are your thoughts on that? What is your thoughts in general? Because this is always a hot topic. When we tried to do a tournament, we had to eliminate artillery being used because everybody complains somebody's overranging. And yes, the shots do, especially with shrapnel shot, go outside the line if you're targeting a unit within the line, because shrapnel shot is super inaccurate and you're going to have some shots go over the red line even if you're targeting a unit inside the red line. So that being said, that's where the dilemma comes, and that's why in the tournament we decided to eliminate using artillery in the tournament, just because there's so many people accusing other people of using artillery outside the limits. So what are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments below. The next question I have for you is, why do you think Grassy Flat Boys, or the Grassy Flat players, as I like to call them, why are they so opposed to playing on the terrain maps and using artillery? Leave your comments below and let me hear why you think they're doing that. And maybe that's a video in the future. Let me know if you want to see something on that. All right, we will talk next time. I think we've covered enough ground here. So thanks again, everyone. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to subscribe. It does help the channel. Leave a like as well, because like you must do it. Ciao. See you on the next one.